Alright, so today we are going to discuss social media websites, specifically Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, the three most popular social media sites out there right now. We're going to talk about how we can use this in a business sense to have good marketing for our corporations. Alright, so the first site we're going to look at is Facebook. It was launched in 2004. It has just under 2 billion users worldwide. It is by far the largest social media platform that is in existence at this time, and 72% of all online American adults have a Facebook account. People that use this website use it kind of as a means of communication to kind of share photos, opinions, videos with their friends, and they can also see the postings that their friends put out as well and engage in conversation. Facebook makes most of its money, as we'll see with the other two platforms as well, through advertising. Investopedia tells us about 66% of Facebook's overall revenue comes out of advertising. Major companies such as Ford, McDonald's, Nike, Visa, and Anheuser-Busch, all juggernauts in their field, go to Facebook because they really have a personalized advertising strategy, and then these companies really like that because they're able to connect with the people that they know will be buying their product. So using Facebook as a marketing tool, the thing Facebook says is that that your company will be very discoverable. When people search for you on their website, they'll be able to find you. And once they've found you, you'll be able to have those one-on-one conversations with your customers to really make sure that you're able to connect with them in a personal manner. And it also allows you to reach a large amount of people at the same time. And this is huge because then you don't have to spend as much on advertising. And then lastly, they provide analytics, which is very crucial in order to understand kind of where you're lacking, where you're doing well, so you can continue to improve your advertising strategy. A couple of successful Facebook advertisements. The San Jose Sharks used Facebook to increase their ticket sales. They were able to kind of localize their advertisements to people that would be coming to their games, and they saw a really big increase in small ticket packages as well as a half-season ticket sales. eHarmony, a popular dating website, once again was able to tailor their advertisement to people that would probably be using the website. They saw an increase in their subscriptions that is actually 65% since when they first started using it in 2014. And Royal Caribbean Cruises, they had a brand new ship coming out, Harmony of the Seas. Facebook allowed them to make a video that people could engage with, and they saw on average that people were watching the video for 72 seconds, which is pretty remarkable that you were able to get people to watch their video for over a minute on average. Let's talk a little bit about unsuccessful Facebook advertisements. Grey Poupon had a strategy that was really tailored to a small audience. You actually kind of had to pass a test in order to get to the next page. And so it really limited their capability of being able to go viral and have people just talk about it because it was very exclusionary. Cheerios, it wasn't a specific campaign that ruined their image, but it was actually a legal issue that was going on outside of their Facebook page. And it then turned into where people went to their Facebook to voice their displeasures about things that were going on. And the company was actually forced to delete comments in order to limit the negativity. Walmart also saw some negativity on their page because they kind of stepped outside of what they're known for in an advertising campaign. They tried to promote style to a dorm room, and people didn't really appreciate that because they're more known for practicality. And so they kind of thought that they were stepping outside of their limits, and they went to their Facebook page to share their displeasures as well. Who should be using Facebook? I think that all companies should be encouraged to use Facebook as a marketing tool because of the total number of people that use the site. But the number one thing is you have to understand your audience and the people that you're trying to reach. And as we saw, if you have exclusive or exclusionary campaigns, then you're not probably going to see the success that you want. All right, so the next site we're going to talk about is Twitter. Twitter was launched in 2006. It has around 317 million users worldwide, much less than Facebook, obviously. We only see about 23% of all online adults that have a Twitter account. registered users can both read and post their own tweets, which are limited to 140 characters. You can also post pictures and videos to go along with those. You can also retweet other people's tweets to share that information with your followers. The company, just like Facebook, makes the majority of its revenue through advertising. Investopedia tells us about 85% of that revenue comes through the advertising realm. Their direct connectivity is what really makes Twitter unique, and it allows these companies to communicate efficiently to their customers. We actually see a lot of customer support units on Twitter, and companies such as Starbucks, Nike, Best Buy, and Southwest Airlines are among the ones that really do a good job at that. So using Twitter as a marketing tool, the great thing about Twitter is that it is extremely up to date. You can see what's happening in your community, industry, or even around the world with a click of a button. So this really allows you to design an advertising campaign that will be successful at that very time. Twitter ads are the things that Twitter lets you use to get your message out to people. Twitter ads are kind of stitched into people's timelines that they look through, and they appear as normal tweets that show up there. As we mentioned before, one thing Twitter really boasts about is how you can use customer service on their platform. And 85% of Twitter users actually say that it's important for these businesses to provide customer support on their website. And so we really see these companies do a good job at doing that. A couple successful Twitter advertisements. Untuckit, a retail company that really focuses in shirts, they use Twitter to showcase their product to try to lower their cost per acquisition numbers, and they actually achieved that goal. They had about 12% under their cost, and they met their goal that they had set out to reach. Onnit is a fitness company. They wanted to grow the total number of followers that they had and also inform them about their products and sales. Twitter allowed them to do this as well. They actually had a way higher percentage than Untuckit. They were about 40% under their cost per acquisition goal. I thought this one was unique. Northumbria University is a college based out of the United Kingdom. They were trying to get more people to apply to their school, and they saw huge success. They actually saw a 50% below target cost per acquisition goal and were able to really reach out and get more kids to apply to their school. A couple unsuccessful advertisements. Most of these have to do with timing of these hashtags that we discussed. Hashtags for Qantas Airlines, they tried to have Qantas Luxury to encourage people to talk about their experience on the airline. However, it was very poorly timed because the day before, all of their flights were actually grounded. So people took this opportunity to really voice their displeasure with the company. Jenny Craig endorsed a controversial radio show, and people, once again, went to their page and talked about them in negative light. Entenmann's just had poor timing, a lot like Qantas did. They tried to use the hashtag #NotGuilty to have people talk about their stories of indulging in sweets. However, it just happened to be the same day as a verdict that was being released in a famous trial, so people kind of saw that as insensitive and them not knowing what's going on around them. So who should be using Twitter? I think Twitter is a very valuable resource for many companies to use because it has a very high capability because of their hashtag feature to go viral. The hashtag allows people to connect and share their opinions about that topic at one time. This can be a positive or a negative thing because you can very easily go viral in a negative sense as well. So that's something you got to be careful about and make sure that you're not drawing negative attention to your company. The last website we're going to talk about is Instagram. It was launched in 2010. It is actually owned by Facebook and has around 500 million users worldwide. A little bit higher percentage than Twitter at 28% of all online adults have an Instagram account. This platform is primarily dominated by people aged 18 to 29. About 55% of online people at that age have an Instagram account. The website allows them to post pictures, videos, and share these things with their followers, and then they can actually post these to other social media websites as well. So how does Instagram make money? Just like Facebook and Twitter do, advertising. Investopedia doesn't really give us any specific numbers, but they talk about combined in the third quarter revenue for Facebook and Instagram, about 97% of their revenue came from sales, which is pretty remarkable. A couple major companies that use Instagram for their advertising capabilities are Nike, GE, and Disney. Using Instagram as a marketing tool, they pretty much have three primary advertising formats. They offer photo ads, which is just one specific photograph, video ads, which obviously are videos, and carousel ads, which are more interactive and actually let people click and it might take them to another website where they can learn more about that product or service that is interesting them. A couple successful Instagram advertisements. Perrier used video ads to increase their brand awareness. They were able to get a higher household penetration and actually saw an increase in sales and revenue. Caesars Entertainment used that carousel ad we were just talking about to encourage people to book vacations. They were actually more successful on Instagram than any other advertising channel that they tried to use. They saw 8 times more successful in cost per conversion rate there. Lay's Potato Chips also saw a similar increase. They used Instagram to kind of get their customers engaged in a conversation about what their favorite flavors were. This campaign really drove in-store sales up, and they saw a 5% increase in sales versus when they used Facebook alone. Some unsuccessful advertisements. Audi, they tried to have a more user-generated content advertisement with the hashtag #PayMyDues, except they saw that their followers really wanted to see pictures that the company was producing rather than other people, so that didn't really work out well for them. Nesquik actually had a pretty good idea, but it just never seemed to gain any traction. They tried to use the hashtag National Bunny Ears Day, where the Nesquik bunny, you take a picture with his ears up above your head. It was a good idea, but it just never seemed to gain any popularity. They really saw no comments or any mentions on their Instagram page. It was actually in the single digits, even with celebrity endorsements. And lastly, McDonald's. McDonald's, it wasn't a specific campaign, but it was more the comments section on their Instagram page that was ruining their social media presence. People routinely were commenting on the quality of their food and even going out of their way to dispute with their brand advisors. So who should use Instagram? Instagram is the second most popular social media outlet that we have. And so I think it's important that companies try to use this website. But retail companies are probably the ones that will have the most success on the site. However, if your creative industries might be able to see similar success. I think the most important thing on Instagram is understanding your audience. Again, if you can connect and keep your followers engaged, then your popularity will rise. All right, lastly, let's look at a few key takeaways. Number one, you have to know your audience. If you understand the people and the customers that you are trying to reach, you'll be able to connect with them in a much better fashion and be able to design a marketing campaign that will connect with them in the best way possible. By doing this, you have to do your research. You have to make sure that before you do any campaign that you do your homework, not only on your audience, but make sure that the thing that you're trying to put out there is not insensitive and it won't draw any negative attention to your company, because that is the exact opposite of what you're paying that advertisement to do. And lastly, you don't want to have any exclusive campaigns. As we saw with Grey Poupon, if you limit the number of people that it can reach, then obviously it's significantly less likely to gain any traction towards becoming viral. And going viral is the key thing that you're trying to do when using these social media advertisements. Here are the references that are used throughout. They're all linked to those websites for the information that I gathered.